वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैर्वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। भगवद्गीता अध्याय 12 श्लोक 13। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखः क्षमी। Not samadukkhasukha. Samadukkhasukha. Yeah, the su should not be doubled. Samadukkhasukha kshami. In this chapter, Bhagavan glorified a Saguna Brahma Upasaka, one who is committed to bhakti, meditation on Saguna Brahma. He constantly thinks of Ishvara in any given form. Such a sadhaka was glorified in the beginning of this chapter. Then Bhagavan understands that everyone cannot commit to upasana, because even to spend time in upasana, one should have certain readiness. Therefore, Bhagavan gave certain other types of sadhanas. At last, he talked about सर्वकर्म फलत्याग. Sarvakarma Phalatyaga was glorified as the best sadhana, because this sadhana is possible to everyone. In fact, it is most suitable for the lifestyle of a grihastha. Sarvakarma Phalatyagaha. Sarvakarma Phalatyaga, if it is done properly, all one's life, it leads to Chitta Shuddhi. The mind becomes pure. Then one gets interest in Atmajnana. I should pursue Atmajnana. I should know the ultimate truth. Then he approaches a guru and receives the Upadesha, Atma Tattva Upadesha from the guru. Eventually, he becomes a jnani. He attains Atmajnana. This is the culmination of the pursuit of moksha. The pursuit of moksha culminates in Atmajnana. When a person becomes a jnani, when he is properly aware of his true nature, and he is not dependent on any external factor for his emotional support, for his satisfaction, etc. Then he is a proper true jnani. A jnani was earlier referred to as the greatest bhakta also. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinarjuna arto jijnasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. Krishna talked about 4 types of bhaktas. Artha bhakta, jijnasu bhakta, artharthi bhakta, and jnani bhakta. Among them, we can first understand Artha bhakta, a bhakta who is suffering. When he is suffering, he becomes a bhakta. He turns towards Ishvara. Such bhakta is called Artha bhakta. Other times he doesn't have bhakti. But when there is a suffering, he turns towards the Lord. Then the second type of bhakta is Artharthi. He wants artha. He wants wealth. He has so many desires to be fulfilled. In order to fulfill his desires, he becomes a bhakta. Then the third type of bhakti is a jijnasu bhakta. He seeks knowledge. He wants to get Paramatma Jnana. He seeks to know Paramatma. Such bhakta is a jijnasu bhakta. His objective is to know Paramatma and attain Paramatma thereby. And the fourth type of bhakta is a jnani bhakta. He is a jnani. He has understood that Paramatma alone is real. Brahman alone is real. And the Brahman is my own Atma, my own Swarupa. He has understood this very well. Such a jnani is referred to as the greatest bhakta. Tesham jnani nityayukta ekabhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. Among the four types of bhaktas, the jnani bhakta is the greatest type of bhakta. This discussion occurred in chapter 7. In chapter 7, Jnani was referred to as the Bhakta. Even in this chapter, after chapter 7, Bhagavan refers to Jnani as the greatest Bhakta. He is the Parabhakta, the greatest type of Bhakta. The Bhakta who is most dear to me, Bhagavan says. Bhagavan refers to Jnani as a Bhakta. From this we should understand that Jnana does not mean just an information. Jnana is not just a cognitive process. As far as Vedanta is concerned, Jnana also involves an emotional aspect. There is an emotional dimension to Jnana. There is no Jnana apart from Bhakti. When we cultivate dependence on Ishvara, when we cultivate dependence on Paramatma, instead of depending on any external object like a relation, etc., for our emotional support. It is called bhakti. When we find happiness, when we find satisfaction in Paramatma, without seeking satisfaction in the external objects, it is bhakti. And this aspect of spiritual accomplishment is an integral aspect of Atmajnana. Without this, one is not an Atmajnana. A Jnani is the one who does not depend on any external object for his emotional support. Instead, he has found support in the Atma, support in the Paramatma. Therefore, he is not emotionally disturbed when the support is not given from outside. When he does not find any support from outside, he is not emotionally disturbed because he has found the support in the Atma. It is bhakti. And he relies on the Paramatma for his happiness, for his satisfaction. It is bhakti. That is why Jnani is also bhakta. Jnana is bhakti. Jnana is not just an intellectual, cognitive pursuit, not just an intellectual, cognitive accomplishment. It is a maturity. A maturity in being aware of the presence of Paramatma. And a maturity in terms of absolute dependence on Paramatma. Now, this Jnani is not just called a Bhakta, he is also called a Parabhakta. He is also called the greatest Bhakta. Even this should be understood properly, because as long as we have ajnana, we cannot be the greatest Bhakta. Because as long as there is ajnana, there is a difference between you and Paramatma. There is difference between you and Ishvara. There is Jiva Ishvara Bheda Drishti as long as there is ajnana. No. the greatest love that anybody has is towards his own self. One cannot love anybody more than himself. It is not possible. Even the Upanishad says, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. In Maitreyi Brahmana of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya teaches Maitreyi, Nava are patyuh kamaya patif priyo bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya patif priyo bhavati. Yajnavalkya tells Maitreyi, O Maitreyi, no wife loves her husband for the sake of the husband. Wife loves husband for the sake of herself. As long as the husband gives her happiness, she loves the husband. And the same is true with respect to husband also. Nava are jayayai kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Nobody loves wife for the sake of the wife. A person loves his wife for his own sake. In the same manner, Nava are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Nobody loves anything for the sake of the object itself. We love anything for the sake of the Atma, for the sake of ourselves. Therefore, the greatest love that anybody has is towards oneself. Any other love is subject to the love for oneself, is conditional with respect to the love for oneself. If it is helping me in some way, I will love it. And it is true with the Ishvara also. Even the Ishvara, we love Ishvara because in some way or the other, it helps us. Therefore, when there is ajnana, our love for Ishvara will be restricted by our love for ourselves. Because there is self-love first, then there is love for Ishvara. Therefore, there is a bifurcation of love. There is a division of love as long as there is ajnana. Because as long as there is ajnana, there is dvaita, there is jiva ishvara bheda. Therefore, there will be love for the jiva as well as love for Ishvara. The love is divided in at least two directions. Love for myself and love for Ishvara. That is why the love for Ishvara cannot be absolute as long as there is ajnana. But when there is a jnana, when there is self-knowledge, the jiva ishvara bheda is gone. You are fully aware that the Brahman is not different from yourself. You are Brahman. Therefore, the self-love and Ishvara love are not different at that time. The greatest love that you have for yourself itself becomes the love for Ishvara. Itself becomes the love for Paramatma. Therefore, there is no bifurcation of love. There is no division of love. Love just flows in one channel. Love just flows in one single channel for a jnani. That is the Paramatma. There is no other object of love than Paramatma. Therefore, jnani's bhakti is the greatest bhakti. Therefore, jnana is called parabhakti, the supreme devotion. That is why in this adhyaya, in adhyaya 12, starting from Shloka 13, Bhagavan describes a jnani as the greatest bhakta. And he describes the characteristics of a jnani. Bhagavan describes the characteristics of the greatest bhakta, who is a jnani. The characteristics of a jnani are described almost everywhere in Bhagavadgita. It is not unique to this chapter. Right from Adhyaya 2, Bhagavan has described the characteristics of a Brahmajnani, Sthita Prajnaha, at the end of chapter 2. Likewise, even in chapter 3, you will find the description of a jnani. Yastvatmaratirev syat atmatraptascha manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtas tasya karyam na vidyate, etc. And likewise in almost every chapter, in and through Gita, throughout Gita, a jnani's nature is described. The characteristics of a jnani, the lakshanas of a jnani are described. What is the purpose of knowing the characteristics of a jnani? Is it to judge others whether this person has become a jnani or not? It is not meant for judging others, because we cannot judge others. We cannot see most of these characteristics. They are not visible in others, mostly. Therefore, the description of a jnani is not meant for judging others. then why they are described in Bhagavadgita? Shankaracharya says, Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani. The lakshanas of a siddha, the characteristics of a siddha. Siddha means a jnani. The one who has accomplished success, one who has succeeded in the pursuit of moksha, is called a siddha. The characteristics of a siddha themselves serve as sadhanas for a sadhaka, for a mumukshu, because they are yatna sadhyani. One should inculcate those qualities with effort. The qualities of a jnani one should cultivate in oneself with effort. Only then he can become a jnani in due course of time. That is the purpose of knowing these qualities. Even these are sadhanas. Generally, when we hear the word sadhana, we think sadhana means only certain type of practices that we do within some time constraint. Like people say, I do japa for 1 hour, I do 3 malas of japa. It is also sadhana, but it is not the only sadhana. Doing japa, doing shravana for 1 hour, it is also sadhana, but it is not the only type of sadhana. There are certain sadhanas that we cannot schedule in time. It has to be practiced throughout our life. We should live with certain qualities. We should cultivate certain qualities. It is also sadhana. Like ahimsa. Even ahimsa is a sadhana. Such sadhanas cannot be restricted to a particular period of time. I am doing 1 hour ahimsa. It is not possible. In the same manner, certain qualities of mind like daya, compassion, magnanimity, generosity, cultivating such good qualities, it is also sadhana. One should constantly make effort to cultivate such noble qualities. Therefore, Bhagavan talks about all such qualities that are visible in a spiritually mature individual, in a spiritually mature personality. Jnani is a spiritually mature person, one who has attained the peak of spiritual maturity is a jnani. Therefore, the qualities of a jnani serve as yardsticks for spiritual growth. What are the yardsticks of spiritual growth? What are the yardsticks of spiritual accomplishment? How do I know whether I am spiritually growing or not? Many people think you should get some special powers, then you are a spiritually mature person, a spiritually evolved person. Do you have any miraculous power? They will ask. If you don't have any miracles, if you don't perform any miracle, then you are not spiritually advancing. Some people think so. But Krishna never talks about such miracles. Throughout Bhagavadgita, you won't find one single reference to miracles. I should be able to foresee the future, etc. No such miracles or supernatural powers are mentioned in Gita. Therefore, we should understand it is not the yardstick of spiritual growth. It is not the yardstick of spiritual evolution. Then what are the yardsticks? They are these noble qualities. The noble qualities that are described here. Let us start. Adveshta sarvabhutanam. Sarvabhutanam adveshta. A parabhakta, the greatest bhakta, jnani, he does not hate anyone, absolutely free from hatred. No hatred towards anybody. Even to his enemies. He does not even hate his enemies also. Can he have enemies? Can a jnani have enemies? If you ask this question, I would say yes, he will have enemies. Even a jnani can have enemies. In fact, everybody in the world has enemies. There are enemies of our country. If somebody is an enemy of our country, he is our enemy. We cannot say he is not my enemy. He may be my country's enemy, but he is not my enemy. We cannot say. If anybody is against dharma, if anybody tries to destroy dharma, even then he is our enemy. That is why even Rama or Krishna had enemies. Ravana was Rama's enemy. Even Krishna had many enemies. Despite having enemies, A jnani does not harbor hatred towards the enemies, because he understands that even the enemies are essentially the same Atma. The Atma of the enemy is not different from my Atma. Then why he is an enemy? It is because of his own ajnana. Because of ajnana, he behaves in a particular way. Therefore, he is fighting with me. And when he is fighting with me, I have to fight him. When he is fighting with my country, I have to fight him. Exactly that is what Arjuna is supposed to do now in Kurukshetra. Krishna tells Arjuna, don't have hatred towards anyone. There is Duryodhana standing. There is Dushasana and Karna standing. At that point of time, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, Adveshtaha sarvabhutanam. Do not hate anyone. Do not hate even Duryodhana. He does not say don't fight Duryodhana. You have to fight him because he is violating dharma. Yet, do not have hatred towards him. Because even Duryodhana has the same Atma. Duryodhana is the same Atma as you are. So, Adveshta Sarvabhutana, he is free from hatred. He does not harbor hatred in his mind. Maitraha, mitrasya bhavaha, maitram. Maitram asya astiti maitraha. One who has mitratva in everyone, he is called Maitraha. Means he is everybody's well-wisher. He wishes good to everyone. Even when he fights Duryodhana, he is wishing good to Duryodhana. Let Duryodhana ultimately become good. This is his wish. Maybe he will have to die in this Janma, but after death, may he get another Janma and there let him become good. At least that way Arjuna can wish good to Duryodhana. Maitraha. Karunaha. He is full of compassion. He has compassion towards everyone. Nirmamaha. He is free from my identification. Mama means identification as mine. This belongs to me. obsession with one's possessions. This is my possessiveness. Possessiveness with respect to people as well as with respect to objects. This is mine. This house is mine. This table is mine. He is free from such possessiveness. And when he is free from possessiveness, he is ready to let go of everything. If something goes away from me, I am not disturbed. When I am not possessive of it, when I am not attached to it, ultimately, one should be ready to let go of everything, including this body. When we are possessive of this body, this is my body, then we suffer at the time of death. There will be an emotional suffering at the time of death. Oh, I am dying, I have to leave this body. Therefore, Madhusudana Saraswati says, one should not be possessive of even this sharira, even this body. Nirmamaha, nirahankaraha. He is free from ahankara. Free from a sense of superiority. I am great, I am learned, I am intelligent, etc. Madhusudana Saraswati takes ahankara to mean garva, the conceit, so sense of superiority. A feeling of superiority based on one's qualities. It can be on account of learning or wealth. Dhana, jana, yauvana. Dhana, wealth. Jana, I have people, I have followings, many people like me on YouTube and Facebook. Even that can add to garva. And yauvana, I am youthful, I am good looking, I have good health. Even that can lead to garva. Dhana jana yauvana garvam. Bhajagovindam says, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Do not have garva on account of dhana, jana, yauvana, etc. Harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. Time can snatch away anything in a moment. In a moment, everything can go away. Dhana, jana, yauvana, everything can go away. It does not take more than a moment. Our heart is beating every moment. There is a lub sound and dub sound. Lub, dub, lub, dub. That is how our heart beats. After one lub, if there is no dub, then gone. One moment is enough. Fraction of seconds is enough. Harati nimeshat kala sarvam. Therefore, nirahankaraha, meaning he is humble. He has humility. Samadukha sukhaha. He looks upon dukkha and sukha as equal. Meaning, he is not elated by sukha. Sukha does not cause elation in him, and dukkha does not cause dejection in him. That means he is free from the emotional ups and downs caused by the changing events in life, the changing conditions of life. Kshami, kshama asya astiti kshami. One who has kshama is called kshami. Kshama means endurance, the ability to put up with the difficulties. Put up with difficulties in life. Which is called titiksha. Kshama is called titiksha. He is able to endure difficulties in life. He is not emotionally disturbed by the difficulties and the challenges in life. Santushtas satatam. Okay, we will continue in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.